So this is a .eth handle tweeting this, by the way. So BlackRock dumped 975 million in BTC right after Trump's speech. 3 billion sold in 2 days. They know something we don't. And of course, Sani chimes in. Pardon me, sir. Investors sold a lot of IBIT shares yesterday, and BlackRock is matching what they sold on change. You effing retard. So Tony, I think you like this. Yeah. There's your laughing emoji right below. What was your response to this?
Man, like if you don't see it, you don't believe it. Like you can't fathom how retarded people are. First of all, the .eth should have given away that you should just skip over that tweet. You just ignore it entirely. But he's right. BlackRock doesn't know something that we don't. But the investors in BlackRock, part of that, planet of the retards, well, they're selling for whatever, foolish reason that they have. And of course, BlackRock has to sell the equivalent amount of Bitcoin to match, whatever IBITs are being dumped. That's all we're seeing here. But the fact that people are dumping Bitcoin because, coincidentally, it's also the most liquid asset that they can, attack, instantly. Well, that's also like something that doesn't play in Bitcoin's favor. As much as it does good, it also does bad because of, its liquidity. But the fact that people want to get rid of it, that is, Guinness World Record, stupidity as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
I mean, it's psychological warfare, right? And it's also taking advantage of the fact that most people, they don't know anything about money or finances. Our educational system in the United States makes it so that you don't ask any questions about our money, about the way that the economy is set up, and they make it so that you're a good little boy and you follow the rules and you just want to make enough money to support your friend, your family and your kids, and they want you to be beneath them. And that is by design. And so then come the institutions and they buy all of this Bitcoin and they shake people who I don't even like calling it weak hands, but people who are desperate, who have been through the 2008 financial crisis, who don't even really understand how it is that it happened, but they understand the pain that they felt, right? And they're feeling that same pain now. And when what happens when you put someone against the wall? They're going to eventually capitulate. And I think that that's what's happening now. BlackRock, the government, whoever you want to call it, all of these powerful people on earth, they are using their power to psychologically declare war on young people, especially by making it so that they have to sell their Bitcoin, not because they want to, but because they need to survive, because the economy is really, really bad right now. And it's exactly what you're saying, Tony. And I completely agree with you. I just also see the other side of, people who are suffering and they need to they don't understand. They don't understand the full power of Bitcoin and how this could help their lives in the long run because they're just trying to survive day to day because it's a problem that these people started in the first place.
No, you're
yeah.
absolutely right, Sophie. But here's what I'll say on this. When they destroyed my life, or at least tried to destroy my life, I had nothing. Okay, so it's not like I was put in a difficult position. I was put in hell, incarnate with absolutely nothing, flatline to zero. That pain is what pushed me to find out why this happened and who was behind it. That curiosity is what has me sitting here right now on this podcast, having these conversations, co-founding the Bitcoin Way and educating folks on this. This anger behind the truth that was finally discovered is what motivates me to do this. The problem I have with financially privileged people is that they don't take the time to think. They assume this is never going to happen to them, even though they get screwed over and over again, like situation after situation. We had 2008 that wrecked God knows how many people. The
And that's
imminent
by
crash that,
design. It's
yes,
by design.
of course, but you'd
We
think you'd clue in,
why do you
right?
think we're so addicted to social media and why we're so addicted to the conveniences of life? It's all by design. If we were, made to go live in the desert, we would have to figure it out. We would have to we would be brought to a point of pain that we would have to figure it out. And unfortunately, and I say this all the time on Simply Bitcoin, I think that that's what it's gonna take, unfortunately. It's gonna take someone just people feeling that level of pain so that they discover the truth and feel the anger that you're feeling, because that's what happened to me. I had to, get out of my bubble in the United States and figure out what it was like living in another country, just to figure out what the banking system was really like and how privileged I was in the United States. And that was a big part of what led me to Bitcoin. So, I completely agree with you.
Well said. I think for anyone who's maybe not following along, what you need to understand with the ETFs is that these are individuals who are dumping the ETFs, and BlackRock just selling the Bitcoin, in a corresponding manner. So it's not BlackRock learns something and they dump Bitcoin. These are individual investors who are making these decisions. And I think one of you made the point, individual investors are scared and they see Bitcoin's price dumping, and so they pile onto that. And it's just a fundamental. If you're in the ETFs, it's probably because you have a fundamental misunderstanding of what is wrong and what the problem is that we're trying to fix with Bitcoin.